Hey everyone, Andy Orlando here from RazorRank. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the use of AI generated content on your website. And there's been quite a bit of excitement around this recently. What we're going to be doing is talking about how it works, the uses, the risks, how you can use AI successfully in organic search, and how you shouldn't use it in organic search, what can and can't you do. And I think that you'll find this pretty interesting as we go. This is actually a talk that we just gave, or I just gave at the MTMP conference in Vegas just last week. So it is right up to date and relevant, and I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing that we talked about is many people have been experimenting with AI. It's a great adjunct to your law practice and to your business in general if you're not a lawyer. And we're going to be talking a lot about it right now. Before we get started, just going to give you the 30-second elevator pitch on who RazorRank is and what we do. RazorRank is a full-service digital agency. We do everything from technical SEO to complex paid media programs. Our clients include The Gap and Intermix and Maui Jim and FTD Florist and Foot Locker and all their properties. But we also have a large contingency of lawyers and medium to small businesses. So not everybody is The Gap. We understand that, but we use our expertise and what we've learned as a technical SEO shop. And we use that very successfully for law firms. And so moving right ahead, let's get into AI generated content. First of all, what is ChatGPT? People have been hearing about it in the news. It's very exciting, and the way it works is it works on the principle of a large language model. And what is a large language model? It is a foundational system that processes vast amounts of data. So here you have all the training data that goes into the large language model, and the people from OpenAI who developed this large language model fed in trillions and trillions of text documents, all kinds of research, practically the entire internet, the Library of Congress, every text document that they could get their hands on went into the large language model, and the large language model processes the information and the text and basically analyzes the relationships between the words. So in doing so, it knows what word should come next in most of the time. So it can predict, when you put a prompt in, it can actually predict what the answer should be, and it's very meaningful in most cases. So let's talk about prompts. So all you have to do is put a prompt into ChatGPT, and it will give you an answer. So let's say we put a prompt in like this: write a page for my website called Las Vegas Car Accident Lawyer that will outrank Frank Smith's car accident lawyer page. Bam, take that, Frank Smith. Well, it's not quite as easy as that, because Frank Smith may have a better prompt than you do, because not all prompts are created equal. And the prompts can run deep. If you've been looking at this, you may see the prompts that already exist out there, human written article, 100% unique SEO optimized article, and all these prompts exist, but some of them aren't that good, and some of them are pretty good, but the prompts can run very deep. And here's an example of a prompt template. So this is behind the scenes. You may see only the little prompt template at the bottom that says, put your keyword here. But behind that is a prompt template that says, act as a content writer proficient in SEO, print me out an article, use markdown language, use 15 H2s and 1 H1 and a bunch of H3s, and then use burstiness and perplexity so that other AI content generators can't recognize it as AI. And you can use informal tone. You can use all these parts of the prompt to give you the output that you want. Now, you may also realize that many of the outputs are not exactly what you want, and you have to reprompt and regenerate and tweak your prompts to get what you want. So the question is, should I use AI generated content on my website? And that is a really good question. And I know that quite a number of people are already using AI content on their websites in various ways. And our advice right now is be very careful, because If you remember back in the day when the Penguin algorithm update came out, when spammy links were suddenly identified and all the people who were using outsourced link programs and spraying their websites with hundreds or thousands of low quality links, when Google was able to identify spammy links, one day everybody woke up and their websites tanked. And I know I had over 100 of my own websites at that point that were severely affected, some of them never to return. And then later on, Google came out with the disavow tool where you could actually say, please forgive me for my spammy links and come back to life. But if you have AI content all over your site and Google decides that it doesn't like AI generated content, you will not even be able to figure out which pages have it and which pages don't. So I would be very, very careful as to using AI generated content on my good website that's generating leads, or if I want to be found in search. So what is Google's position on AI generated content? They've been saying this for quite a long time. When it comes to AI generated content, our guidance has been consistent for years. Using automation, including AI, to generate content with the purpose of manipulating ranking and search results is a violation of our spam policies. This is most recently their guidance, and they go on to say, as explained, however content is produced, those seeking success in Google search should be looking to produce original, high-quality, people-first content demonstrating qualities of EEAT. And if you're familiar with this, you're talking about experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And this is straight from Webmaster Guidelines. So going further, the question is, can Google recognize AI content? And we are going to tell you, yes, they can recognize AI content, and AI content detection tools already exist. There are many of them popping up. You have Originality.ai, Writer, CopyLeaks, GPT-0, all of these already exist, and some of them are paid services, some of them are free, but you can bet that Google is going to be way better at this than they are, and Google is going to be on the lookout for spammy content, and they will not like it. That is our position on AI-generated content at this time for SEO. Now, there was a study that came out on over 14,000 pages done by Originality.ai, and they found that after analyzing all these pages for keyword ranking, for human versus AI content, when they did their research, they found that a 1% higher human content score corresponded to an improvement of 2.65 positions in ranking. Now, that is significant. So if you're thinking that they can't figure out that you're using AI content all over your website, I would be very careful. So they also found out in this study that that correlation stops at 75%, meaning once you got to 85% or more of human generated content, there was no appreciable corresponding difference, which means they will at this time allow a certain percentage of AI generated content without penalizing the site. So these are new studies. They're coming out as we speak. So keep your eye out if you're watching the internet and what's going on. Now, all this being said, if there's so much danger in having AI generated content on your site for SEO, what's the use of it? I mean, why is it good for me if it's dangerous and doesn't help me rank? So there are many uses for law firms. Since we were talking at MTMP, some of the things we spoke about, which the lawyers probably know better than we do, you can do legal research, research case law regulations relevant to PI, statutes, precedents in seconds. I mean, it's amazing what it can do. Drafting documents, pleadings, motions, discovery requests. It will save them time. Client communications, drafting emails and other correspondence, providing updates or answers on questions, summarizing documents, complex legal documents such as medical records, easily and quickly grasp the essential information into an outline. Negotiations can be done, but what we're going to talk about right now is legal marketing for websites. So you can create content for personal injury lawyer websites, generate content outlines, do keyword research, ideations, all kinds of great things that can come from AI content. And it's not all bad. I mean, most of it is good. It just happens to be that in SEO, you need to be really careful. So what are the advantages of AI generated content? First of all, creating robust content outlines. And in all honesty, when our team is going to create an important page that we need to rank, what we do is we go out to 15 of the leading sites, we find out what they have, what kind of length the page is, what they have on their page, and then we put together an outline manually of what we think would be a better page than that page. Now, AI can write that outline and do the exact same thing if you explain it really, really quickly. Would we write our content from that? No. But would we use content ideation from that? Yes. So content ideation, content outlines, removing writer's block, researching topics, keyword research, faster workflows. These are significant advantages in having AI as part of your marketing approach and writing approach. Now, what are the problems with AI content? First of all, there are definite risks with AI. First of all, it can be identified, and it's going to get more and more identifiable as time goes on, and they're closing up holes on paraphrasing and things like that. So don't be fooled, and don't think I'm not trying to manipulate my rankings if you're putting AI content all over your site. It cannot be used as is. It will hurt your rankings. Also, it can be incorrect. You need to fact check. If you're watching the news, it's talking about how if you ask AI content a question, it says, well, read these 3 books. Those 3 books don't exist, although the authors do. It makes up answers when it doesn't, when it feels like it. You have to check its work. You must fact check. It can provide misinformation and wrong information. It writes similar things quite often. Once you start using it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It kind of goes off on the same, bent on every page, unless you keep changing your prompts and rewrite it into human. It goes off on tangents. It creates competing pages because it does tend to write the same thing, and it must be humanized to be used for SEO. So those are some of the problems with AI content. Now, here's one more thing. Trustworthiness is going to become paramount, because if even last weekend, if you were reading the news, they were showing pictures of the Pope in a big white parka, and then they showed pictures of the Pope drinking beer, which you can see right here. People are able to not only make up content, but they can use things like Midjourney and DALL-E to create images that don't exist. So what's going to happen on the internet with all this creativity and all this AI generated content, you're going to start to get to a point where you can't trust what you see on the internet. So that's why we're talking about EEAT guidelines, because trust me, Google is not going to be serving up spammy content to its users that is untrustworthy. That is the last thing they want to do to their empire. So they are going to be ascertaining what is real and what is not to the best of their ability. So be warned and understand that. Now, how do you become competitive in how do you become competitive in SEO in a landscape of AI ideation? First of all, these are some of the things that we're doing, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. How to win in SEO in a sea of AI. First of all, content must be more robust. Because it's easier to create outlines, it's making it more competitive. More people will be able to be good at it. So your content must be more robust. It's raising the bar for you to be good. So you must utilize EEAT guidelines. You must have authorship and expertise and trustworthiness on your site. You must be using bylines and linking back to author bios. You need to use human written content. Okay, this is another thing. Even if we do use ideation, we are using human written content to compete, because we don't want to lose 2.65 positions for 1% human, more human content. Now, getting on to other things, we are using multimedia page development, such as engagement videos and whiteboard videos. We do subject matter expert interviews to interview the people who we want their opinions on what this page is about, to get their angle on it, and to create bylines and quotes. So this is another thing that we've been doing to outcompete. We monitor competitors very carefully to see what's going on, because you will need to be nimble, and overall, you will need to produce useful content that engages your audience. You want to make your pages so interesting and so useful, people will stay on the page and they will scroll to the bottom and they will want to see what you have. You can't just write a bunch of junk anymore, because people are going to be on the ideation part of AI. Now, it's a great system that you can ask anything. And one of the things that we did is if you're struggling with how to optimize your site, if you're struggling with how do I rank and how do I get SEO generated leads, you know that SEO generated leads are the cheapest of all leads, but you have to put in the effort. If you've been struggling, let us know. You can contact us at info@razorrank.com. We'd be happy to have a chat with you about your strategy and tell you where are the opportunities and what can I do to do better. Thanks for listening. Over now.